awakening to the full totality of who you truly are. It's like I always tell everybody, you are not the body and you are not the mind. These are utilities that you're utilizing to interface in this field of reality. That's right, brother. God mean Gad. God mean Gad. And John Wycliffe took Gad or God, right? Which that's God, G, A with the accent line over it and a D. And they took the word good and removed an omega, which you call an O, out of the word good, and you got the word God. Someone took the word evil and added a D to it, and it got the word devil. And they made these two beings characters in your Bible in English. So they don't use the word God in Greek or in Latin or in Hebrew. That word doesn't exist. So when people confer or they affirm to themselves, I'm God, you basically giving it up to the Germans. They're receiving that energy and they're distributing that energy to you. And that fortune is based on what they consider to be a fortune, which puts you on a 6th ether frequency, which is a frequency of belief, right? We are not a belief-based people. That's why you can believe like a motherfucker, because you got spirit. See, many of them don't have a soul, so they can't admit their convictions at the rate that you can. I seen a white church the other day on Instagram, and the people was catching the Holy Ghost. It's all white people in there. They was doing their best rendition of a black church. I said, damn. They didn't put the spell on you, dumbed us down, then start mimicking the dumbed down expressions that you do. Now they start to do that shit. That's a crazy spell. Like, damn. The dude walking across the pews and shit. Did y'all see that? Shouts out to Delay. The comedian Delay. He put that up on his page. Shouts out to Delay. Right? He put that up on his page. And when I seen that, that's the first thing that came to mind was like, damn. Now the white people acting like the Baptist church. Before you used to go, they was Catholic. And I always have to check people. If you are not Catholic, you are not a Christian. I'm going to say that one more time. If you don't belong to the Catholic Church, you are not a Christian. According to the papal law, you are an abomination. You hear me? You're an abomination. If you're not reading out the Apocrypha, that's not a Bible. They don't honor King James. T.D. Jakes can't go to the Vatican with his Versace on. They gonna tase that nigga. He got a warrant for his arrest. I'm telling you. Joel Osteen too. They can't go to the Vatican, man. But see, they ain't gonna sit up before their congregation and tell them that. You are an abomination. If you don't see the Pope as the right hand of God, boy, they will tase your ass and put you in a dungeon and give you molded bread until you decide to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior under the Roman Vatican Church. You see what happened when the Pope come here. Now they got an American Pope. That used to be sacrilegious for a Pope to be from this country. Now you got a Pope from America? That in itself is telling you they done lost their stronghold. So what is the difference between the 6th ether being and the 9th ether being? That's an excellent question. It's the hair texture. The hair texture and the pigmentation. And this is why I said 9th ether woolly haired beings have woolly hair. Our hair is woolly, like a sheep. Their 6th ether beings' hair is flake. They don't even have hair. They got fur. And it hangs, right? Like a goat. They're closer to the goat as far as the hair is concerned, and you're closer to a sheep. You follow that? and you used to be green. Don't listen to that Bobby Hemmett crap. Oh, 6 electrons, 6 protons. That's carbon. That means you're black. No, the Hindu is the 6th ether being. He's black. That's the Asiatic black man. We're the 9 ether olive tone skinned people that mixed in with them Hindus. And once we mixed in with them, we began to rust. But you used to be green. And some of them used to be blue. You hear me? We were more magnesium based. You gave off chlorophyll, vitamin K, potassium. And when you mix potassium with electrolytes, according to chemists, they say it gives off a violent explosion. So listen, and I told people this last week, and you do this. Some of y'all do this. Get you some bananas and get you some alkaline water. And watch what happens after you drink that shit. Watch how you watch your behavior calm all the way down. Watch you have the capability to focus in on shit. Because you're going to start eradicating for your body. Because your body is intelligent. It's learning from you on how to conduct itself. That's why you got to know thyself and start studying biology and the physical anatomy. Right? That's right. The SAR color is green. Geb is green. Patah is green. Offset is green. Haru is green. Right? These are all green beings. And they'll turn around and say that you are alien. And the alien is a little green man. These are subtle confessions that they put right in front of your face, and they know that you're not going to look at it. This is Q&A with Dr.RÉ, beloved. Questions and answers. And right now we're talking about 9 ether to 6 ether beings. Now, when you start talking about Caucasians, you're talking about the 6 ether albino. They're 6 ether albino. 7 ether, that's mongoloid. Or people that have wavy hair. They got 7 ether. You got curly hair, like my Puerto Rican brothers and sisters, they got 8 ether. It's 11:11. Hold on a second. Abdul Ku Tafalat. Wab Bazun be about more El Kalum. Who partner to that? Minu Nu Sheu Kawun Elabihu. Atunre. Nu Nunet. Het he het. Ket ki ket Amun Amunet. Atun Shu Tepnut Ged Nut or Set or Saru. Net that Satuk Haru Happy and quit Auntie Nefertun. Mantu Beti Sekmet Het Har Best Pata. Bas Am Hotep. Who me hurt Capri. Meskahenit Raet Kentamintu. Hika Ni Mayat Renintat Shah Sishat Mathat Sobek Anubu. Kanum Kansu Tenin. Sia Hikat Amsu Sarapi. Atumre Tahuti. Taret Selkat Ha Nehepka Sokar Bait. Akir Anihirit Wabwawit. Sikat Hitet. Maresgir. Sia Gadet Astinu Bahutit. Kenintet Minket Hem. Madudi Kabasinu Duamutef. Merit Ura Edunakebit. Sikat Anuket Jet. Tim Uwis Anku. Afnuit Sata Sekti. Imta. Ninna. Imuet Imseti. Kimamu. Ray Chef Mary. Amun Ray. For the sake of all. Kawu. Be. So those are the degrees to how many times has the earth been reset. That's an excellent question. Hundreds of thousands of times. Hundreds of thousands. And it does it every 26,000 years. Right? That's called an equinox. Equinox, Greek for equal. That's when your planet has made a complete orbit around your galactical center. Not the universal center. Now take a whole nother 26,000 years for your galaxy to make a complete rotation around your universe. They call that an epoch of time. And beings with the capability of FLT, faster than light travel, they have the capability to measure light at a greater rate than we can. And that's just in the physical universe. That's not the spiritual universe, which predates it. This universe looks like a germ inside of the spiritual universe. You can fit the full universe, physical universe, into a germ in the spiritual universe. That's how expanded the omniverse is. There's levels and layers to this. But as I always say, you got to start from step one. Work your way up from the earth star to the crown chakra, to the sky chakra, to the 13th chakra, where you get access to the galactical portals that are being emitted from the core of your galaxy. And your oversoul is picking up on those transmissions and is relaying it to the psychic center. It won't come down below the psychic center. So your intuition has to be intact in order for you to pick up on the transmissions that people keep referring to as downloads. And I know that they mean well. I just got to put stuff in context for y'all, because a lot of y'all that be using that 10 years ago, you wasn't talking about downloads. You wasn't. You hear me? You wanted to be Gucci Man 10 years ago. Now all of a sudden you're getting downloads. And that's fine. It's just not called a download. That's a transmission. Right? Said the next equinox is September. Yeah, that's the planetary one that you're talking about, Wild Orchid. And you're right. 722. 22 over 7 will give you pi. Right? 3.14. And if you look up Revelations 3.14, it tells you, Jesus tells you that the name of his Lord is Amen. Right? So everything is based around our measurement from the sun. Everything. That's your God. I was talking to a sister in my inbox yesterday. She trying to pick my brain and see, like, hey, you don't celebrate Easter? I'm like, no, I don't. I said, I'm not into speculation. I don't like to speculate. I don't like to be in an assumption state of mind. Right? People like to assume. They like to fantasize. And that was cool last equinox. But now, since 1970, everything restarted in 1970, you guys. That's when the reset happened. And that's when the crystal children started to incarnate into this planet. And all of the people that are drawing the crystals or that have an affinity for crystals, right? It's because you're on a crystal vibration. And I showed you guys the other day about the chakras and how each chakra is associated with a particular crystal on this planet. And it can help get your chakra spinning in the right direction. Right? Join us on the school. I'll be breaking this stuff down on school. I'll break it down on YouTube. I'll break it down on TikTok. Then it took my playlist away from me. I got an account warning, and they want to get me off of here. So I need y'all to tap that screen. Shouts out to everybody that's been giving out these gifts and get me up to league D2 topping or whatever the fuck. But I hope that answers your question for the being that did have that question. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yep. So that equilateral space, which on August the 12th lines up with the eyes of Baruti that you see picture behind me. The eyes of Baruti line up with the Leo star constellation, right? Every 26,000 years. And it did that. It did that in 2003. And that marked the time for your awakening. They were saying, oh, it's the end of the world. Yeah, but the world is not the planet. It was the end of a type of world. See, they left that part out. And it was the world that the six ether albino and the lunatics, the Luciferians, had built. It was time for that shit to end. And now you got your birthright or your birth claim back. You hear me? And now their tricks, their shenanigans, and their chicanery is not holding up no more. It can't stand up to the questioning. It can't prove empirical data to prove that it's true. It can't exhibit itself as a fact, just a belief. They have a 333% mentality. They're into belief and seduction because they got a feminine nature. Non-ether beings don't have a feminine nature. We got a masculine nature. And that don't got nothing to do with gender. Right? That has nothing to do with gender. We know that's external. We know how to externalize things. We don't internalize shit. Like David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, walking around all normal and shit. But inside this motherfucker nutty as a damn payday. Or Jeffrey Dahmer doing what he doing and snacking on niggas. Got him in his freezer. But he walking around smiling and acting all nice and kind. Right? That's a feminine nature. Right? He hides how he really feels inside. You don't. You let everybody know. You want the world to know. Nigga get on the bus with the damn headphones. He got to be rapping this shit. Everybody gonna hear what this nigga rapping about. What he listening to. If he can help it. He get in the car. He gonna put some sounds in that shit. He gonna put some rims on it. He gonna put some flip-flop paint. He want you to see him. Right? Brothers and sisters dressed to the nine so that you can see them. They want to be seen. They're not trying to hide. They're not trying to be vague. They're being vivid. People that are vague and ambiguous and always want to see, they got all these secret societies. Everything got to be a secret. Shh, don't tell nobody. That's manipulative and conniving. And the secret is the devilishment that they're doing to you. Now you got the six ether Hindu, the Asiatic black man. He has a 666% mentality. He vibrates above belief. He operates on faith. Right? That's how he's able to garner his trust, is through faith. So he has faith that everything will work out for him. The six ether albino adapted that mentality. But that's where they got the word Krishna and transliterated that into Greek as Christos. And the Greeks transliterate that into English as Christ. That is a fact. That's not a belief. That's not a speculation. All religious scholars can confirm that. Notice I said religious scholars, those that study scripture. They can confirm it for you. Fuck you blind faith ass no motherfuckers. You just saying shit. You basically following tradition and my mama did this and my grandmama. That don't make it right. And I'm telling you, when I'm at my altar, you have no idea how many people, listen, have been blocked from receiving offerings from me because they still holding on to Jesus. I mean, they literally get blocked out my consciousness from even calling their name out. And these not people that's related to me. Because I give it up for everybody. Say, what can you tell me about Kundalini? No, you got to ask me a question. What is your question about the Kundalini? I could tell you a whole bunch of shit, but I can only answer your question as clear as you ask. What do you want to know? This is Q&A with Dr.RÉ. I know you probably new here, but y'all got to ask your questions. Don't try to pick my brain and be like, hey, can you speak about this or talk about that? No, just say what you want to know so that I can inform you effectively, right? So I don't get to speculating about what you're talking about. Said Jesus is the Hamal star. Hamal, let me look that up. I know. Or I just go to the internet. Said, is he a God? Is who a God? Jesus? Jesus is a made up word. It's a derivative of two words. You know, the letter J didn't come until 1592. I guess I had to go. No one could prove that Jesus exists. No one can prove anyone in the Bible ever existed. Right? They're incapable of doing that. It's only one being in the Bible that has actually been proven to exist, and it's a being that they're referring to as Ramesses, right? And they parade him, his son, Ramesses II, and Ramesses III through all the museums uh, across the globe. And they charge your ass $60 to $100 to come in there and see our own pharaohs, and that's a Greek word. But I know that's what people understand. I gotta speak on a grimoire level just to reach people. Yeah, and they talk. I just looked up Hamal. Hamal, that's a star in Aries. In Aries, Aries represents the ram. The ram is another name for Amun. Amun represents the ram. That's in the Tentera, in the Temple of Epu, right? That's where they got that from. And they replaced some of our deities with what they wanted it to be, right? But Ramesses is a real person. He said it said he was born of the son of God. That's what his name transliterates as. And they took that and they had to add all these people to Egypt. Moses, oh, he was found floating up the river, the Nile River, and Ramesses found him. Right? Abraham, he had to go to Ramesses. Jesus, according to Matthew chapter 2, to send my son to Egypt and stay there until Herod is dead. If Jesus was sent to Egypt and he stayed there for 12 years, because it took 12 years for Herod to die, wouldn't that make him, wouldn't he have they learning? Wouldn't he have picked up their scholastic curriculums? Of course he would. And he was teaching the same thing that Asaru taught. Because really, they're telling you the story of Haru. There was no Jesus. Only Jesus exists was Isus. It wasn't no Yeshua. People be like, oh, Yeshua, prove it. Oh, nobody could prove, man. We ain't got time for speculation. I don't even like to go back in time. Other people was like, hey, what about America and the blacks? I don't even like to go there because it's relevant to a degree to now, but it has nothing to do with right now. Right? Try to go over there and look at them Olmec heads if you want to. The cartel gonna snatch your ass up. They're like, no, nigga, we ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Right? But aside from all of that, Ramesses, Aries, the ram, right? You can see the ram in the word Ramesses, which deals with fire, which dealing with the sun. The sun is fire. And what they try to tell you subliminally, you're going to burn in hell if you don't follow Jesus. These are spells. Because when they commission for the English language to be constructed, which is comprised of Greek alphabet and Roman numbers, that's what make up your so-called English language, which is not a language. It's a bastard language because it doesn't have a mother tongue. It doesn't have a motherland. And they can't cite the woman which birthed the man or woman that came up with the linguistics for what you're referring to as the English language, which would make it a bastard language. The Roman letter I, or the Roman number I is your I in English. The Roman number 5 is a V in English. The Roman number 10 is an X in English. The Roman number C, or 100, is a C in English. Right? Roman for 50 is an L in English. The Roman number for 500 in English is the letter D. You hear me? Don't believe it. Like this is not something that's easily hidden from them. You can easily pull this information up. And in between that, they started making up letters like the J, the Q, and the K. Those are letters that they made up in order to block the power of your words of power. Because life and death is in the tongue. And they was aware of that. And so they started to insert that grimoire in order to control the people. So they started instituting education. And they adopted that from the Greek, right? They said, man, we need to be scholastically bright like the Greeks, which learned from the Egyptians, which was the Hyksos. And the Hyksos, right, they just plagiarized everything that was given to them. They never was initiated or accepted into the occult centers of the Happy Now Valley. They were never accepted, right? And they know that shit too. And that's why they attempting to get y'all to disregard the Happy Now Valley. Y'all be pissing the deities off. All of you niggas that say America started in Egypt is America. You know what I mean? Stop buying into that crap. They try to divide you from Ganawa. You don't think they tried to cover them pyramids up? Look what they did to the noses, right? They don't want you to realign with that shit. They want you to realign with Jesus. That's selfish. That's devil. That's devilishment. To ask me to accept a God that looked like you instead of accepting one that looked like me. And I'm not flesh and bones. I'm a soul. And the Latin word for soul in English is a sun. You have a sun burning inside the center of your solar plexus. That's you. And our Father is the Son. Our God is not even a father. That's anthropomorphism. Say, isn't the pyramid? Exactly. When you say pyramid, shouts out to Wild Orchid. That sister up on it. When you say pyramid, which is that's a Greek word too. Right? Pyramid is pyra. Pyra means fire. Fire. Mid. Fire. Mid. Or mid fire. In your mouth is 98 degrees. If y'all look at the Predator movies, when they got the little heat signature searching mechanism, it always got this part right here is full of heat. Especially in Predator 2 with Danny Glover. That nigga whole shit was lit up. And they could see him like, oh shit. I can see this nigga a lot easier. I know he there. Right? So you got a fire burning inside of you. You are that fire. You like to be around fire. That's why you like to barbecue. Hey man, light up that grill. Right? That's when we thrive the best, when we in our element. When we're amongst the elements. Nothing can touch you. You the fastest runner. You the strongest. You can sing the best. You dress the best. Tell me I'm lying. Ain't nothing more beautiful than a chocolate woman. The darker, the better. I mean, it's second to none. Let's just keep it 10K. Our brothers, and this is no homo, our brothers are highly selected by all the women on the planet. Period. Period. Ooh, I just got to get me a black man. They say once you go black, you never go back. You hear me? This the reality. Everything that they show you or perpetuate through the television, that's not reality. It needs your mental energy in order to become a reality. And when you stop putting your mental energy into it, then it starts to lose its rating according to his system. Like, damn, they're not paying attention no more. We got to come up with something to make them pay attention. Yes, it is. But they took it and turned it upside down. Right? And that comes from the Andromedans. The Andromedans are attempting to fight back because your galaxy is starting to consume its galaxy. Right? The Milky Way is consuming Andromeda. And when you say the word Andromeda, that's the name, that's not the name of a planet. That's not the name of a star. That's the name of a galaxy. And the Andromedan galaxy is currently being consumed by the Milky Way. And the Milky Way is starting to pull the stars into your orbital field. So sometimes you will see 2 to 3 suns sharing orbital space with your sun. That's because it's being consumed. And they're attempting to fight back. Or they'll incarnate on a planet like this, or they'll dock their ships outside of your solar system, which NASA has pictures of all this shit. Are y'all worrying about Iran being bombed and all that shit? They showing that stuff at the same time too, but you ain't paying attention to that. You more worried about Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane and what's the other little broad, Lotto and 21 Savage. I know about this stuff because I got children. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. You see what the fuck going on the sun right now? Yes, you just answered your own question, beloved. So Andromeda, the beings from Andromeda are looking for ways to influence the beings on this planet, on other planets, because they're attempting to put themselves on the trajectory of incarnating or integrating into these particular planets. He said, let me up, Playboy. No, we don't play them type of games, Alan James. You got a question, brother? You ain't gave one gift. You ain't said nothing. You just came here. Let me up, brother. It's not one of them TikToks. It's Q&A with Dr.RÉ, beloved. Got any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. Thank you, Juan Beamer. Yeah, bad terminology. Yeah, Playboy, the bunny, the rabbit, the hare, right? Dialing into Easter, Esther, Ishtar. Ishtar in Tammuz, which the Babylonians, which was really the Sumerians. It wasn't no Babylonians. Those are Sumerians. You got the Sumerians and the ancient Sumerians, right? And they took their knowledge from the Happy Nile Valley, because you got Haru and Osset. It's the same statue, right? It's the same statue. Same thing with Krishna, right? He said the Akkadians. Yes, the Akkadians belong to Sumeria. Yep, the Akkadian Empire. They're the ones that integrated a learning system, a language system. They made it mandatory that you learn. That's where all of the education system come from. And the Amorites, who came on the end of the Akkadian Empire, but they took it over, right? Ended up taking it over and instituting that into their Proto-Indo-Euro system, right? That was the Amorites that ended up learning from those Akkadians. But the Akkadians under Sargon I, who you know to be Nimrod, right? He venerated, a lot of different deities, primarily Baal, Tiamat, Kingu, right? Y'all know the story about Kingu and Tiamat. If you don't, I'll tell you. So have we won any of these resets? Well, when you say won, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, because it's not like you playing a game. It's almost like you in a school, right? And in this school or this education or this learning center, what you have to do is learn to master your mind and master yourself so that you could traverse the physical dimension, right? And graduate from here as a master, right? Supposed to get a master degree in the physical dimension and dominate position. Now, you're looking at it too human. You're utilizing anthropomorphism to make sense of who you are eternally, or really who you are eternally can't even be validated by this limited perspective. This body can't even hold you. It's attempting to hold you, but it can't. That's why your heart beating so fast. It's attempting to keep up with the vibration that you vibrating on. But it can't, because you're eternal. And you're in a limited space, make believing that you're a human. You're not a human. You grow into the human form in order to experience what it's like to be a human, right? No, physical experience, spiritual body in a spiritual body attempting to have a human experience in a human body, right? You, the soul, don't even incarnate. Like, yo, man, you incarnate. The soul becomes awakened once the spirit has made its presence known here. Said, not to get off subject. No, it's not off subject. Yes, I've heard of the Jaguar traditions. That go back to the Aztecs. They got that from the Olmecs, who were their fathers. That's right, sister. That's right, Wild Orchid. That's right. That's sister on point. Yeah, that's where it started at. And that's why I implore for y'all, pour a libation for your grandmamas and your granddad. If your mama and your papa, if they passed on, you need to go ahead and pour a libation for them every day, man. It ain't a day that I miss. I'm gonna pour them libation. I'm gonna make them offerings. And when I got a moment of clarity to sit and pause and reflect in silence, I start talking to them. And I let them know how grateful I am for what they did for me, right? I do it all the time. My grandma, the ancestors be with her, my grandma Juanita. I had got a 5-speed bike, and I let somebody see my bike, and they got beat up, and somebody took the bike. And my mama was so pissed with me. She was pissed. And she didn't even want to talk to me, right? She ain't talked to me for about a week. My mom was hot with me about that shit because she told me don't let nobody ride my bike. Now, we end up moving out of that house and moving to another neighborhood, right? And I never forget the day, man. My grandmama showed up with a bike for me, man. Oh my God. I broke out in tears. I was like, oh my God. She was like, this for you. And I was just so happy. And I was talking to my grandmama at the altar about that shit. I didn't even burn no ancestor money. The alarm started going off. The smoke detector. It just beeped right now. Like, beep. It don't never do that. That's her letting me know, like, yep, that was me. And I did that. Right? But I acknowledge her existence. Just because she's not here physically, she's still coursing through my veins. She can feel everything that I feel. Aspects of her can. She can smell what I can smell. She can hear what I can hear. She can see what I can see. She even got a greater perspective on the life that I'm living right now. And I honor her perspective on the reality that I've taken over as a caretaker of the genetics, right? That's more important that you dial into that than be worrying about what happened 10,000 years ago. What happened 10,000, 26,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, a billion years ago, it took place for you to be here right now doing what you're doing right now. And it's a pecking order. And you have to acknowledge every corridor leading back to the ancestors. Because your ancestors don't begin the 2048 pair of great grandparents. On the other end of that threshold is the ancestors. Anything prior to that are the children of the ancestors. And you got to give an ashe for all of those that's known and all of those that's unknown. Those that's unknown, the known is going to connect you to the unknown. Without unbeknownst to you. Right? And you got to be doing that on a daily basis. And not because it's obligatory, but because you want to do that. You want to acknowledge, you want to give that sense of gratitude. You don't have to do it all day. Just carve out a unit of time to at least do that. And you're doing a lot when you're doing that. I done helped so many people as far as making that connection and calling on the power of those in their own bloodline, that the results are beyond explanation at this point. And because a lot of y'all are spooky and scared, and you think that you got what it takes to do it on your own, and that's fine too. That ain't gonna help. You better get with somebody that knows what they do. Right? He said, let's help Cuba, Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan, and other countries in crisis right now. Oh yeah, we always sending out positive energy to them. But check this out, Janice Miller. And there's no disrespect to none of them. Where were they at when we was going through the shit that we've been going through and still going through right now? Where were they? They wasn't here. You hear me? Now we do send positive energy. We do project protection to those that are receptive to it. We do pour libation for all these people in these places that are experiencing egregious events in their reality. But we got to be concerned about number one first, because our mind's not even right. You hear me? Our mind's not even right. And them people not praying for you. They don't care about what you got going on. And that's no disrespect and no slight to them. You just got to put stuff in its appropriate context. Because all those countries that you name, I guarantee you, they're going to receive some type of retribution. I guarantee you they're going to get some type of, what they call that shit, y'all? The niggas keep asking for, they keep getting denied. What they call it? Show you how much I give a fuck about that shit. No, somebody gonna put it in there. Reparations. Thank you, Gregory. Reparations. Until I see the world start calling for our reparations, I don't care about what's going on with everybody else. Until they can show me that. Because before shit hit the fan with them, they didn't give two fucks about you. Lebanon is where the Sumerians were, assimilated from Mesopotamia. That's right, Wild Orchid. Wild Orchid on point. She's way on point. Said we need to take reparations. Yeah, we got to start the grounds for that, for our grandchildren. Where we make the mistake is we think everything needs to happen in 24 hours. It needs to happen in 6 months. No, we need to move. We got to start thinking long range, y'all. We be thinking too short range and we want everything to happen for us. Nah, man. We can't be that selfish. Think about your children. Think about their children's children. And move in that direction. And you will get a lot more accomplished that way if you do that. Right? Stop focusing on what everybody else got going on. Right? Exactly. Well said, comrade. Voting. I just did a video. I just uploaded a video about that. Election time come around, they're gonna be smiling in your face like a car dealer. Showing up into your church and shit, grabbing the little black baby and kissing it, acting like come on, man. Y'all really that dumb? When I see them sisters calling, that was the AKAs. Shouts out to the AKA. They doing some type of walk with Kamala Harris and shit. She not even a sister. She a Hindu. She's 6'8". This for educational and entertainment purposes only, TikTok. She don't care about your agenda, just like Barack Obama didn't care. He ain't do nothing for you niggas. Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Obama. That nigga don't get, you ain't seen Obama since he left the office. You seen him show up at a soul food restaurant? Have you seen him in Atlanta taking selfies with people? Hell no. You see him showing up to the Black Essence Festival? No. He ain't nowhere to be around you niggas. Same thing with Kamala Harris. Oh, Kamala. Where the hell she at? She disappeared like a motherfucker. She disappeared. He said Obama was at Jesse Jackson's funeral. Yeah, Jesse Jackson a sellout though. Of course he gonna show up to his funeral, make sure that nigga dead. Jesse was talking shit about that nigga. and was in the position to tell everybody who he really was, but instead he chose not to. You know, he with the boule. As Kamala Harris says, she's not doing everything. That's right. Comrade know what time it is. Now I'm telling you, they about to spin the block on y'all ass, calling Joe Biden Daddy Joe. That shit made me want to throw up. Oh, Daddy Joe. Are you kidding me? You know how many of our great-grandmothers had to be a bed wench? This for educational and entertainment purposes only? The 3-strike law that they put into place to lock up our brothers and our sisters called you an animal, called you a cockroach, held the eulogy for 2 of the grand wizards of the KKK, and y'all just look right past all that. I'm voting for Joe Biden. Yeah, that was Clinton, but Joe Biden was on the administration. And Joe Biden is the one that was pushing that legislation for Bill Clinton. Exactly. Well said, beloved. Joe Biden was everything that y'all claiming Trump is. That's what Joe Biden was. They tried to scrub that shit from the internet. That's why they blocked me off of Facebook. Because I screenshotted that shit and kept it. That nigga held the eulogy for the Grand Wizard in 1978, the year that I was born. Y'all just glossed past that shit. But then you want somebody to feel sorry for you for the victimizations that you go through. We can't be playing these games no more, man. We got to get out these belief systems. We got to stop being an outcry when it's convenient. We got these convenient ass outcries. You want to cry for something? Cry for those children. Where's the outcry for these children that's being trafficked? Where's the outcry for the victims of the people that's on these goddamn Epstein files? Where's the outrage? They had outrage for George, what was his name? George something. I don't even keep up with that shit like that. I tell y'all, I don't watch TV. I watch television, but I don't watch the fucking news. George Floyd. It was outcry for this nigga. The girl that got murdered by the ICE agents. It was outcry. Outrage. What about the children that have been trafficked, and the only sense of solace that they get is when they not being R-word? What about that? Where's the outrage for that? What about the person that used to head the Justice Department that's found on the Epstein files and all the people he done sent to jail for nonviolent crimes for 30, 40, and 50 years? But you over here R-word and little children. When is justice going to serve your ass? It don't serve you because you used to hold this office? Where's the outrage for that? Come on, man. It's fake outrage. Fake outrage. Say her name. It's fake. Even though it's real, it's fake. They wag the dog on your ass. And don't get you to pay attention to the subject at hand. You're being programmed because you're not aligning yourself with the sun. You're not aligning yourself with the planet. You're not aligning yourself with your higher self. And you're not aligning yourself with your own family tree. You're not in alignment. Right? And I'm here to bring people into alignment. Because once you get in alignment, you start paying attention to all that bullshit. I don't be knowing what's going on. In case I see it pop up in my feed, or somebody, or one of my children tell me like, "Hey, Daddy, look at this." I be like, "Ah, shit, I don't give a damn." That's right. That's right, Kim. I go with this brother right here, comrade. Exactly. Exactly. We calling y'all out on y'all crap. That shit being called out. I seen the video. Shouts out to the brother. I don't know you. I forgot your name. I follow you on my backup page. And I reposted your video about what's going on in Italy right now. The people in Italy stopped paying their bills. They stopped going to the grocery stores and the gas stations. In Italy, I forgot the little city. I can't pronounce it. But that just look up Italy's banking system is collapsing. You could just put that in the TikTok search engine and watch what that brother show you. They took a stand. Like, fuck that shit. We not buying no food. We got enough food saved up. Yeah, this going on right now. They're not gonna put it on CNN. They're not gonna put it on Fox News. But them people took a stand. Was like, fuck that. We ain't paying no bills. We not going to work. Companies is shutting down over there like crazy right now. Airport going collapse. Because nobody flying up out of there. The people not coming to work to man the crafts and none of that. The people that's sovereign to Italy, they like, fuck that. Y'all in cahoots with APAC. And until y'all switch y'all ways, we not going to work. We not going to the grocery stores. We not going to the gas stations. See, a lot of y'all addicted to what they offer, to what the Dajal offers you. You got to be like, look, man, we ain't going to work. No, you're going to lose your house. Well, then fuck it. We all going to lose our house. But see, the people in the bank got to be in alignment with you too and be like, yeah, we not coming to the bank, so we not going to let nothing. And the police got to be in on it too. You can't have no violence and no ignorance going on. You got to be in your right state of mind to make them type of moves. You can't have no greed and no lust in your heart when you want to make them type of moves. You can't be thinking, oh, that's a white man. Oh, that's a black man. Oh, he Mexican. Oh, they don't belong here. You can't be thinking like that to make these type of moves. Everybody got to be on one accord. You got to put your differences to the side in order to take the beast down. And that's the people in Italy that's exhibiting that. And they'll look you right in the face and call you a Mulian, call you a mook. You hear me? You got to be willing to stand 10 toes down. And be like, hey, man, you grow potatoes. I need you over there. You going to grow lettuce. You going to grow the radish. We gotta get like that, man. We got to put our differences aside and come together. Then you can say, fuck your job. Fuck the bank. Fuck the mortgage. Because the people that run those companies, they'll be saying the same thing too. And I ain't talking about the owners. I'm talking about the workers. They got to be willing to step off too. We got to get with Sarah and Becky. Right? And Kevin and Robert. And Robert, you're going to have to get with Hakeem and Jamal. And Leon. And Rashida. Y'all got to put y'all differences to the side. That's right, man. It ain't even about race. We gotta start gaining commonality and start unifying based on what we got in common, not what separates us. That's why I always say study biology. People be like, what book should I be reading? Read a biology book. Because if you're from Compton, California, and you belong to an AME black church, and you study in biology, and you hook up with a brother from Philadelphia that's a part of a mosque, and he a Muslim, and y'all both talking about biology, not one time will your religious convictions come up in dialogue. Not one time. It ain't no need to even go there. Proof of this is when you go to hospitals. You see all type of different ethnic backgrounds, and they all working together in order to save lives. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. And see, this is the type of dialogue that need to be had. You hear me? But this not the shit that's being talked about. I'm talking about bullshit every day on You said you lied. You know what I mean? Just imagine how quick the shift will happen if every neighbor in every neighborhood started admitting love to one another. Saying, hey man, I don't care what your background, I don't care where you work, I don't care what you got or don't got. Let's work together. Let's fight this common enemy that's working against us all. Let me remove the devil up out of me first. So I don't get none of that devil on you. And I can show you pure love. This shit will shift so fast, the devil will be showing his horns. You will see black devils, white devils, Asian devils, Mexican devils. That's when the devil start revealing itself, when everybody starts showing love. Then the devil ain't got nowhere to hide then. Like, oh shit, I got to show my horns. That's right, JP, in a blink of an eye. And y'all see what I'm always saying? You got 100 years here at best. You at least got 100 years at the most. Got 100 years here. Why not just do what's right? No, he ain't hiding. Because he confident in the ignorance of people. They confident in it. Yeah, man, shit. Yeah, we did it. So what? Them children. And see, we going to have to go over there to the YouTube. When y'all want to see me on the whiteboard, y'all going to have to join me on YouTube. Because I can't really go in on here. They want to get rid of this lie right now. Just for me telling that everybody need to unify. You know. I got all type of different ethnic backgrounds in our community, right? In our tech community. YouTube is the same name as the profile. Just put in 1089 TV. One of the moderators, put that in the comment section. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. I gotta relieve myself. Yeah, so yeah, that's their whole thing is they don't want people to be unified. They don't want us working together. But the Galactic Federation, for the brother that was asking about that, that's what they waiting on. Y'all want some galactic, some off-world existence? That's what they waiting on. They like, damn, these motherfuckers still can't work together? Y'all got AI, y'all got technology, and y'all still can't work together? Y'all still can't put your differences to the side? What's ailing these earthlings? These human earthlings. Damn. Said, are they pro-human or against? They're not either. They're not on no side. We don't even register. We don't even register on a galactical scale. We hold the same significance as the water bugs. You like a roach galactically, collectively. If your planet get hit with great balls of fire, they don't care about that the Tibetan monks but haven't been doing nothing wrong to nobody. They gotta go too. They don't care that that little village in Brazil that's in the rainforest that never came out. They look at us collectively. We have not reached the Kardashev scale, right? We don't even register on the Kardashev scale. That's right, JP. One bad apple. One bad apple. And everybody be so comfortable with that shit. It's like, yo, man, no, you're not gonna be here 1,000 years. It take 1,000 years to remove the genetics of every being that's connected to the memory of you. He says, so they are waiting for a collapse for them to show face. I don't know what you mean by that. Mm-mm. He said, I'm registered. I have 8 billion cells and I've named them. I know that's right. I know that's right, sister. You got 700 trillion red blood cells in your body. I don't know if you know that. You got trillions of cells. But I hear you though. Register them motherfuckers and like they belong to me, right? But everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to be in agreement and coherent to everyone else's existence on this plane. Because there's so much stuff that is waiting to be rewarded to the beings on this planet. But we got to have a good heart so that we won't be corrupted. Thank you, timekeeper. It's 111. It's time for us to get on off of here then. Oh no, we're going to go to 111 Central Standard Time, right? We're going to go Central Standard. That's right. Because humans take up 5% of the surface of the land. 5%. 5%. Right on, JP. 5% of the land. We don't even cover the whole land. They're like, there's too many humans on the planet. No, it ain't. No, it's not. All we need, it only take 12 beings. Say, we are not of this world, so how can we register as a whole? Because we incarnated here, sis. You seen what was going on here and you wanted to incarnate here and make a difference, right? And you had to get permission from the custodians of that bloodline that you're currently in right now in order to incarnate. So they asked us to come and be of an assistance so that their genetics doesn't get eradicated. And we all agreed. Everybody here in the sound of my voice, you agreed to come here under those conditions. And that's why they allowed you to incarnate into that bloodline, right? Some people call them generational curses. It's not a generational curse. It's genetic defects that had been instituted into the people that was here at particular junctions in time that corrupted the genetics to the chromosomal level. And we was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to go there. You seen what was happening from the spiritual universe on the spiritual earth and said, man, we got to change this shit. Look at how in 1970, that's when the vortex opened. Niggas started wearing afros, started putting the fists up. You hear me? Shouts out to my pops. Because my pops, he was born in 53. And pops was like, no, he didn't understand how come everybody ain't get behind the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Everybody was attempting to spin off and do their own thing. And you seen that this man was moving in the right direction. I'm saying for the so-called black people, misnomer in America, right? Like, man, y'all might as well get behind him. The Black Panthers would have had more protection if they integrated themselves into the Nation of Islam. Because if you look at the Nation of Islam, the government ain't try to come at them niggas. They didn't put no water hoses on them. They didn't hit them with the dogs. You hear me? They didn't want none of that static. They ain't touched none of their women. It would have been anarchy in the streets. But where everything failed is you had all these subsidiary groups that wanted to do their own thing instead of align themselves with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And they should have did that. They wasn't willing to put their differences to the side. Right? All of these different movements that were sprouting out, and they wasn't afraid of you. May the ancestors be with us, Shada Shakur and the Shakur family. If they would have got with the Nation of Islam, none of that shit have happened. None of it. They tried to assassinate the most honorable Elijah Muhammad so many times, shit wasn't working. They had to wait till he was on his deathbed to kill him. This man already on his deathbed. Y'all like, no, we want to take credit for killing him. And it's like, man, so now we got another chance. But everybody got to be collected. And that's what the Supreme Grand Master teacher, Dr. Melakaza Duck, right? When we had the land, Wahani, he put every nation's flag up there. Every nation's flag. I watched the brother one day pull up all of the flags up there. And say, hey, we don't care about your background. Come and join. We all need to be unified. Here's a platform for us to have a unified front on. Oh, you got pyramids up. That's evil. Like, so what? I still accept you. All my new will be, if I got any new will be in the comments. Shouts out to JP. I know JP knew will be it. He can confirm this. We accepted the Hebrew Israelites. We accepted the Nation of Islam, the Nation of Gods and Earth, the Tibetans, the Christians, the Jews, right? The Islamic Hebrews. We accepted everybody. Even though we knew that your doctrines was inconsistent and flawed, we didn't look at that. We looked at you. We looked at your heart. We looked at your mind and accepted the soul that occupies the container and accepted you as a brother or a sister. You didn't care about what you believe in. That's secondary. What's primary is your existence. And everyone is welcome. Your children included. And we're going to treat them the same way that we treat ourselves. We have so many white people with white women with ninty braids. Tell me I'm lying. White dudes. They're like, God damn. I say, man, is you a white dude up under there? Yeah, brother, I am. Right back. That shit made me smile from ear to ear. Asian women, I seen it with my own eyes. You hear me? I didn't hear about it. I seen it. And they don't want people to coming together and putting their difference to the side. Because divide and conquer, not unify and conquer. Divide and conquer under one world order. That was the whole premise of what they putting out there. But like I say, you got 100 years here at best. They fool you and dupe you into buying into their suggestions because you spend 15 years working, 15 years being entertained. The average American watch 15 years of television. That's 30 years of your life. You spend 12 years in school. That's 42 years of your life. You spend 24 years of your life preparing for the aforementioned 3. That's 66 years of your life. Then you spend another 12 years doom scrolling on your cell phone. That's 78 years of your life. They already got you pegged in 5 moves. And they suggest these moves to you. They don't tell you that you got to do exactly what they're telling you, but they suggest it to you. And they give you the illusion of choice. And you think that just forget all these choices. Like, I don't want none of that shit on your menu. How about that? That's how I got to go. And if it don't go like that, then guess what? They're going to keep on running their system. And you can't complain about it. Give them back all of their crap. Give it back. The blood on the sword of Christianity has a pool of blood. It got an ocean of blood. Same thing with every other religious denomination. You see what's going on over there in Iran right now with the so-called Israeli. Those are not, that's the Palestinians. They all Amorites, Hittites, right? The Khazars and the Ashkenazis that run your central banking system. They make no qualms about the synagogue of Satan. And they making people that don't belong to these Zionist institutions that claim to be Jews look bad. They the ones that got to get the, they can't help what they was born into, some of them. But they got to take the grunt of the devilishment that's being, that's fucked up. I got family members over there in Israel right now. Been there for some years. They done married into that shit. And it's for educational and entertainment purposes only. My intent is not to bully or to be anti-Semitic, whatever that's supposed to mean. Are you Semitic? Are you Jewish? Are you Hebrew? We're Semites. Shemites. Why you ain't call yourself Shems? Why you using the word Jew? The letter J wasn't invented until 1592. So where's these words coming from? These are spells, you guys. And I'm telling you, they don't want you to know this stuff. They want you to be dumb, docile. Who was that? Sunday. Sunday, I went to go get something to eat, and I watched the nigga scoff at me. Right? He had on his little Easter suit looking like a sucker. Right? And you know me, for y'all that do know, I had on my IRA hat. I had on an Egyptian shirt, smelling like frankincense and myrrh and the Baruti, all mixed together. You know what I mean? Walking with my Ashe mop. This goofy nigga gonna look at me and scoff at me. And I laughed at him so hard. He felt offended because he knew, like, ooh, this nigga, like, woo. Yeah, you shouldn't have laughed. You shouldn't have scoffed, nigga. Your little Easter suit looking like a sucker. That little cheap ass suit you had on, nigga. It's a cheap ass suit, nigga. And you're doing it for Jesus. You don't even know what the fuck you selling. You just doing that shit because your wife tell you. Don't try to look me up and down and scoff. He scoffed at me. Thought I was gonna be like, oh. I laughed so hard at that nigga it offended him. Like, ooh, shit. I'm telling you. I don't get two fucks. If those that know me, they know. Like, yeah, Doc don't give a fuck. Give me the chance to show my ass. What you try to put on me, I'm gonna make sure it come on you double. And that's not to go against what I said about we all need to unify. But I don't fight fire with fire. I fight fire with water, right? And we here to eradicate the ignorance. You don't even know what you're doing. That's Ishtar. And Ishtar was half owl, half human, and half reptile. That was the hybrid. They came from Nirvana. And they used to come to this planet and they say, who sent you here? And they'll say Anunnaki. And the reason why they would use that terminology is because they know that that's what the people was used to hearing every time somebody came out the sky. You hear me? And they would come and consume. They would eat the people. Why you think when you look on some of these temples, they be giving up a virgin or they give up somebody? They sacrifice a body because the people was being eaten. They knew that their caretakers had left. And when the caretakers leave, that's when they come. During those times. Go pull up a picture of Ishtar. You will see a picture where she got a fucking a leopard in her talon. And they would leave their eggs out, or they'll leave their babies out. And keep her distracted while they get the fuck away. See, a lot of y'all can't capitulate that happening. But as I aforementioned, your sun is very, very small on a galactical scale. Seismically, it doesn't even register. You hear me? It's like a pebble. Rigel, which is very close to us, it's about 85 times larger than your sun. Imagine, listen, the insects that are thriving on the planets that's orbiting Rigel. Now imagine those insects thriving on your planet. Imagine seeing a beetle that stands 9 feet tall. Imagine what it looked at you like. Imagine a mosquito that sucks blood. Imagine that mosquito from Rigel living here. You wouldn't have a shot in hell. Physiologically, you as a celestial host inside the vessel, of course, you're going to escape and you ain't got to adhere to none of that. But your body is going to get the damage. They showed you this in a movie called Pitch Black. I don't know if y'all seen Pitch Black. Shouts out to Vin Diesel. Go see the movie Pitch Black. And that's what they showing you. I forgot which star that those little moths came from. But they took that nigga to that planet. And they was like, yo, while the sun is out, we got to find a place to hide before it get dark. Because they had these big ass moths. Those was moths. That's what a moth looked like if it was larger than a human. That's what it would look like. They don't want you to They don't want you to not see it outside of the range of entertainment. But that stuff is for real. And it's actually going on. And you think that you're so special that it needs to be going on where you can bear witness to it. You don't want that shit to be going on like that. It will scare the living shit out of you. You would go into cardiac arrest if you seen something like that. Yeah, Royal Disciple. Shouts out to the Royal Disciple. He's seen that movie. Why would somebody imagine something like that? I'm telling y'all, they picking up on transmissions that's being emitted from other planets. They got all type of technologies and capabilities that they're not telling you about. Because you're more invested in being spellbound. The people over there in Russia, shouts out to Russia. Boy, it's so much extraterrestrial activity that they tell their people. They don't even hide that shit from them. They talk about it candidly and open. But not here. They don't allow that shit here. Oh no, that go against community guidelines. We can't let our people know that. Jesus is the way. Nothing beyond Jesus. No extraterrestrial, no phenomenon, no camera. All that's fake. That's CGI. Not over there. I used to be on the dark web. Boy, they got all type of shit that's for real. That'll fuck you up. You like, damn. Y'all remember the picture? You can pull it up out there in India where they found the fucking owls. Remember I was just talking about Ishtar? They found some owls, man. These motherfucking owls were standing at least 6 feet tall. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not religious. I'm saying that they don't hold back extraterrestrial activity. People be recording it, shit be happening, and they talk about it. They don't like, oh, it's classified. We can't talk about that. So someone put a Russian $100 bill on my bed while I was away. What does that mean? I don't know. They put it on your bed in your house or at a hotel or something. Damn, who the fuck did that? Oh shit. That's wild. I don't know what that means. They probably let you know they've been watching your ass. But yeah, I was watching one of their news channels and a vortex opened up in the middle of the sky. Did y'all ever see that? And they had like 9 or 10 different camera angles from people's phones, even the news reporter. He was saying, don't take the camera down, keep it rolling, keep it. They wasn't saying it in English, they was talking their language. But you will never see that shit on the US news. Ever. They'd be like, man, don't let that shit show. No, no, no. We don't need the people thinking. They don't need you to think. They don't need you to question nothing. They just need you to believe what they showing you. And unbeknownst to many, Hollywood has failed. Hollywood is done. It's a done data for Hollywood. It's deserted. No one is there. No one care about that stuff no more. The technology then overran it. You had to catch the, he said, I don't know what you're talking about. You talking about the Russians? I don't know. You got to be a little bit more clear. Thank you, Ivana. Thank you. Thank you to everybody else that been giving out those gifts too. I appreciate it. And see, I was talking before. 'Cause, Say what you spoke about after you mentioned the large aisles. Oh yeah, the large aisles. Y'all can pull them up on in the YouTube too. Pull up the large aisles. These aisles was at least 5 to 6 feet tall, and they was hiding. They was hiding in some abandoned shit in the Slumdog Millionaire, in India. And the little Hindu dudes was, trying to take pictures of them and shit. That shit scared the shit out of me. And those shits was big as a human. Had long legs and everything. And somebody pulled all the feathers off of them. And it was a big one. The mama was trying to protect the baby or something. Like, peace of love, peace, jihad. Rahubat. But see, they don't make no qualms about it. They'll show you that shit in these other countries. But here, they got to turn it into, they had to turn it into a box office movie hit. If they can't do that with it, they don't want you to know about it. They're like, no, we got to make people think that they being entertained. We don't need people to be edutained. We need them to be entertained. We need them to be distracted and detracted. We don't need the people using critical thinking. Right now, your country, the next generation, they're on a 4th grade reading level. They're on the 4th grade reading level. Their manuscript is horrible. Thank you, Jihad. Thank you, beloved. The manuscript is horrible. Most of them can't even read cursive, let alone write it. It's a curse anyway, but there's no scholastic requirements for you to go to the next grade. My baby boy, I got one boy left in school. We just put him in public school. He was like, I haven't wrote on a piece of paper since the 2nd grade. I was like, damn, for real? I was like, it's been that long? He said, yeah, we don't write on paper. I'm like, damn. That's right. The ISIS papers. Shouts out to Dr. Cress Wilson. May the ancestors be with her. She sure does. Shouts out to her. Shouts out to Dr. Ani Marimba. Shouts out to Dr. Jewel Pukram. Shouts out to Dr. Yafa Bay. Right? Shouts out to these sisters. Sophia Stewart. Yeah, Dr. Ben Yakin. I'm giving it up for the sisters, though. I'm calling out the sisters that don't get their acknowledgement. People don't acknowledge these sisters and give them their ashe. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just saying, but I'm up on Dr. Ben Yakinen, Dr. Henry Clark, Dr. Kwasi. Shouts out to my brother Richard Wallace up there in Boston with the Offset or the Osaru Society, right? In the Temple of Anu in New Jersey. Shouts out to y'all brothers too, right? Because you got people out here putting out, they out here putting out this knowledge. They making people aware of what's going on. It's been going on. But the one thing that gets undermined is our sisters. The sisters that's been going out here putting that work out there too. That's right, JP. Get back to the analog. But it's a lot of sisters. They don't never get they just due. And it'd be a whole bunch of women on here, that claim that they the goddess and they claim that they this and they claim that they that. I come to their page. I don't never see them mention Jewel Pukram. I don't never see you mention Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. I'm not seeing them mention Dr. Ani Marimba. Sophia Stewart. It's like, damn. Yeah, you're right. The feminine is the power, but you got to acknowledge these sisters that have put that work in. They don't ever get acknowledged. I'm like, damn, why they gonna acknowledge the sisters? They don't never acknowledge them. I see a whole bunch of feminazi dialogue and what they be talking about. But it's like, yo, you still ain't even acknowledged Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who graduated from school when she was 19. She graduated with a bachelor at 19. Same thing for Sophia Stewart. And it's like, damn. Then they took the docs, they took what the docs taught us from the sacred records of Dr.RÉ about mitochondria DNA, the X chromosome. They took that shit and ran with it. And not one time did they ever say, hey, we got this from Dr. Malachi Zadok York L. But everybody took his knowledge and ran off with it and didn't give him credit for it. Then you're not even crediting Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I ain't seen one sister hold her up, may the ancestors be with her, since she transitioned and even before. You're not giving her ashe. May the ancestors be with her. All right? Dr. Jewel Pookrum, who don't nobody got no information on melanin like Dr. Jewel Pookrum. I talk about that in my book, The Relationship with Oneself. If you in the tech community, y'all need to pull that book up, The Relationship with Oneself, and look at all those people that I named. Look at all those people that they're not even getting acknowledged by these so-called woke folks. And you can check the timestamp on that book. I wrote that in 2011. It's 2026. I told y'all I've been on this for about 29 years. So I ain't just smoking on a blunt and talking out the side of my ass. This is not that Rashid Jamil bullshit. I'm telling y'all about a walk that I actually walked. And these people don't get their ashe. They don't get their just due. Shouts out to Asada Shakur and Afeni Shakur. All right? Shouts out to them. Because they belong to the Black liberation movements. But they attempted to go off on their own instead of getting under an umbrella. And them hunkies came after their ass. And shouts out to my pops again, because he said it. He's like, yo, man, I don't see why everybody ain't get with the nation. You got with the nation, you done had some protection when nobody been fucking with you. You hear me? What happened to Malcolm X when he defected? They knocked that nigga on off. You hear me? And Malcolm X was on the right page too. But like the doc used to say, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You just got to. But I want to give it up for those sisters, man. I want to give it up for them and show an acknowledgement. And I want to see a lot of you sisters out there start acknowledging these sisters too. All right? And that's coming directly from the Pleiades. They say it's not enough sisters that claim to be a goddess, they claim to be a this, and they claim to be a that, and they not acknowledging none of these women who did their fair share and pushing the envelope, especially Jewel Pookrum. Shouts out to Jewel Pookrum, man, who I had the privilege to meet before. All right? It was matter-of-factly when I met her. And she's like, yeah, check me out. I'm on YouTube. She used to have an office right on Candler Road in Atlanta or Decatur. Has the best dissertation on melanin that you ever could see. See the reason why you know about melanin. It's like, damn, y'all ain't gonna give it up to Jewel Pookrum. Now listen to a lot of y'all sisters. I'll be on the other side of the wall like a lot of y'all on the other side of the wall now. Like, damn, this nigga right. I don't never. That's right. Shouts out to Victory. I could tell Victory on it, man. But am I lying, Victory? Because you a sister. You see any sisters mention these women? Hell no, they don't mention. Got they tits all chest. I'm the god. I'm goddess. We used to just create people without nobody. Bullshit. You show me one mammal that can have a baby by itself. Now reptilians could do that, but no mammal could do that. Mammals have to copulate in order to reproduce. Reptilians don't have to do that, and plants don't have to do that. And you do got reptilian ancestors. So that does give it an ashe, but you got to break that shit down to me. You just can't talk speculative to me and not capitulate that comprehensively. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to show it. And I'll pull out the whiteboard on your ass and break it down to you and show you. But these are the beings that need to be acknowledged. You know, Yafa Bay. Shouts out to Yafa Bay. Yafa Bay. How many of y'all know Yafa Bay? Right? That's before with that brother Taj. What's his name? Taj, whatever he called himself, the little Moorish nigga. It's before him. Yafa Bay was out there, a sister, breaking down that paperwork. I ain't seen nobody break that shit down like her ever. Right? These are women, and they don't get their ashe. But I wrote a book, how many years ago? 15 years ago, I wrote that book. It's time step, 2011. And I give it up to these sisters. And to this day, it still stand true. I'm like, yo, ain't nobody acknowledging these sisters. Y'all want to stand in front of these sisters and come off like a feminazi. You like a CIA, you like a CIA sub agent, talking all that feminist crap. No, I'll get that book out for free, beloved. Water Bearing Stars. All you got to do is join our community. You can download. I got the ebook. You can just download it for free. I don't even charge people for that. Right? That's a perk for entering our community. All you got to do is purchase a piece of orgone from me. Come into our community. Man, we got such a large database. It's over 3 years worth of information in there. I got another book I wrote I give away for free. The Raynology of Alkaline Water. And I talk about the brain foods. I talk about that in the relationship with oneself too. But none of this stuff is new. I've been talking about this for 15 years. For 15 years, I've been making mention of this stuff. And it just been flowing over people's head. They ducking and dodging. Attempting to make themselves look big. I just come out you today. Right on, yeah. Your dearly departed led you here, I'm telling you. That's why y'all be getting pulled here. They see the activity at my altar. They see it at Ricky Rodriguez, Dia Oz, Mama Adrena, right? Yolanda Jester, AP. Every day we at the altar. Every day. We pouring libations every day and night. It's to the point now, my own dearly departed is sharing their offerings with a lot of y'all great grandmamas, your granddaddies, your cousins. They being facilitated by the libations and the offerings that I'm sending over. They sharing it with them. And that's why y'all getting drawn in here. They making y'all come in here. Dr. Ani Marimba, Dr. Ani Marimba, She wrote a book called Yorugu, right? She even read the whole book out on the YouTube. I don't know if they done wiped it down from the internet, but she go through the whole book. And there's a few other sisters I'm forgetting to mention too. But I put up names that I know is highly accessible and you can't run from not acknowledging them, right? Because they definitely had a positive impact on the beings here in the New World of North America, and they haven't got their credit. Yeah, Dr. Ani Marimba, Yafa Bey, Jude Pukrum, Sophia Stewart, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I forgot the sister name out of New Orleans. She's into Yoruba. She the one that put the Yoruba out here for the sisters in the Western world. She be breaking that shit down. She know all the stories and everything. In fact, what's her name got initiated up under her? Ayanla Van Zandt. She got initiated up under this sister. I can't remember her name right now, but I'm highly aware of all of this type of shit. And I'm not going to forget them people. I'm not going to let them be forgotten. Right? The same way I ain't going to let my grandmothers be forgotten. The same way I'm not going to let my mother be forgotten. The same way I'm not going to let my grandfathers and my great-grandfathers and grandmothers, they not going to be forgotten. Because see, that's what the Leviathan spell wants you to do, is to forget and not remember. Because once you remember, you will be reminded to recall why your Ré incarnated in the first place. And then you will start to align yourself with your own divinity. And they give you 100 years to get it together. Really 120. And that's the truth. They don't there's beings that they won't benefit from your divine liberation, your mental liberation. They can't benefit from that. The jig is up and their time is up. You see, I got the great eagle of the West, Egypt of the West. Shouts out to the Supreme Grand Master Teacher. He said, this is Egypt of the West. So when your brother be like, hey, what about Egypt in America? That's the Egypt in America I remember. I took part in it. I was front line for a lot of those marches and stuff that we was doing at City Hall up against the Reynolds family and Sheriff Seals, and I was there on the front line with my chest out. You hear me? I can say that. And while I was doing that, a lot of y'all was jigger, my nigga. Niggas better get it right. Bitches better get it right. Tell me I'm lying. So they don't like somebody like me because I was there. I seen that. And then my father before me and my mother before me, they was with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad the whole 70s. So this is a successional thing. And my sons that will precede me, who knows what they'll be aligned with next? But it's already genetically aligned. You had this name here on 2000. The relationship with oneself. It's called the relationship with oneself. You're not going to find it online. You may find it on lulu.com, but I just give it away for free for the people that join our community, right? We got a large database of Dr. Melikaza Duck York Ale books as well. Say, are you Muslim? Yes, I am one of peace. I am not a religious person, but I am one of peace. Right? Yeah, they don't want y'all to know this stuff, man. And for y'all brothers and sisters out here to be dropping that information, y'all need to support the brand. See, I got on the plain Jane today, a little power Rudy, nothing light, nothing heavy, right? But y'all need to start purchasing the apparel that I got on my website and stop wearing all that polo, stop wearing that damn Gucci. Stop wearing them little Walmart shirts. That shit ain't even representing you, right? Get something with some knowledge, some cultural knowledge on it. Something that represents and reflects you. That shit kind of throw you off when you give me your message because that stuff not aligned with you. I speak from experience. I'm telling you, I had everything Polo made. Every pair of pants that they made. I had every pair, and I still do got most of them. Every pair of Ralph Lauren pants, blue jeans, the socks, the drawers. I'm out here dropping knowledge on niggas. I'm like, man, I got to take this bullshit off. I can't be wearing this. I got to come up with my own brand. That's counterproductive. Giving these motherfuckers my money. Shouts out to my brother Nubia Apparel. You know what I mean? And the brother, before he even started that, I was buying shirts from him and he was drawing shit out for me. I wore them shirts out. We got to wear our own stuff, man. You got to support. And I ain't talking about on no FUBU level. That FUBU shit was for gays. They have Fat Albert. I got deities, right? Goddesses, the deities. That's what I put on our shirts with the wings and everything. The galactical coordinate, the latitude and the longitude lines that line up with the pyramids and the Baruti, which you refer to as a sphinx. We got to start getting back into our own shit, man. And stop making a big ass idea like, is it America? Is it Africa? Well, which one was first? Man, stop letting these motherfuckers confuse you. They're attempting to confuse you because they don't have that in their genetics. They own the damn trunk with you, but they further up the tree on a branch that's hanging off of another branch. You all the way down into the roots of the damn tree. And you came from a whole nother star system. We used to all travel together celestially. Call it a family reunion. You think it's a coincidence that we the only people on the planet that have family reunions? Nobody else does a family reunion but you. Like, oh man, we got some new beings coming from Andromeda. Our family in Andromeda, they coming, they incarnating, they gonna be here on this day. That's why they used to line up the pyramid with the stars that showed up in the sky behind it. And they would know, they could chart incarnations. And the same thing when it came to sex, right? There's a season for you to have sex so that you can produce a certain type of being. And many people started having sex out of season and started producing demons. You started producing the evil seed. Right? Ha, ha, Damien, ha, ha, Damien. Hey, what's your son's name? Damien. Little boy be bad as a motherfucker. That's a little demon. Oh, leave my boy alone. He okay. That little nigga bad. Ha, ha, Damien. That's right, tantric. That's the Hindu. That's the Hindu. 6 ether. See, we used to have, and we gonna finish this on the TikTok. I mean, on the YouTube, you guys. Come join me on YouTube. In 11 minutes. I'm gonna let my phone, I'm gonna put it on the supercharger and let it charge up. Say, why you troubling Damian Marley? Ha ha, Damian, ha ha, Damian, Damian. I mean, truth is truth. Truth is truth. All right? Y'all come join me on the YouTube. Central Standard Time 111. That's 211 for my people, Eastern Standard Time. Come join me on the YouTube. I'm going to get on off of here so they can't suspend the live. And I'll upload this to YouTube as well. Come join me there. See you guys a little bit later. Why do?